Javier Milei is set to attend Trump's inauguration, bringing two global freedom advocates together. With Musk and Vivek both huge fans of Milei, you know they're going to have a sit down. Let's dig in. Yo, welcome back, guys. Glad to have you. Yo, let me know what you guys think about a potential meeting between Javier Milei and Trump. You guys think it's likely? I think it'd be awesome to see some sort of geopolitical coalition form of classical liberal and classically liberal adjacent leaders form like a populist power base around the world against globalism and neoliberalism, dude. I think it would be awesome to see. You guys let me know. I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but still, I would love to see it, man. We got a video to get into. There's nothing directly about the inauguration. There's no video directly about Javier Milei going to the inauguration. But did you guys know that 9 months ago, Javier Milei and Trump met for the first time in Maryland? So let's go ahead and check it out, guys. If you like the content, please like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell. I appreciate you guys. Let's dig into it. Let's see. Javier Milei and Trump meeting for the first time, man. Two big personalities, right?
President! Nice to meet you. It's a very big pleasure to know you, President. It's a grand honor for me. Thank you for the work for me. Oh, no, I'm very happy. You are very generous with me. Thank you very much. It's a very big pleasure. You are doing a great job. Thank you, President. MAGA. Make Argentina great again.
Yo, that was epic, dude. That dude is that's such a cool dude, man. Like, and then we got another video real quick because that was just them meeting, right? But he actually articulates to I think somebody from Bloomberg, why he actually is a fan of Trump, and the way he articulates it is so on point. Like, the dude is eloquent. He gets into the details. You can tell this dude, he's an intelligent dude that likes digging into details, man. Real engineering mind, right? And I think it's awesome to see, man. Let's check it out. Let's see what he has to say.
You are a big supporter of Donald Trump. You know, Milton Friedman was about free trade, free markets. Donald Trump is possibly somebody who's pushed protectionism. He's someone who takes a warmer view of Vladimir Putin than you do. He tends to be much less supportive of the kind of liberal economics that you...
Warmer view of Vladimir Putin? What are you talking about, warmer view of Vladimir Putin? That doesn't even make any sense. That is so inaccurate, man. That's just a bold-faced lie. Unless he's like brainwashed and that's crazy, man.
You do. And I wondered whether, you know, what has changed? Has liberal economics changed, or is Trump really not that?
Is this the greatest value of Donald Trump's policy is that he has rightly identified the enemy, and the enemy is socialism. If you want to put that in terms closer to the Austrian School of Economics, we could talk about those who support status. You know, in that.
You see the way he's referencing Austrian versus Keynesian economics. You see the way he's referencing socialism as being the center point, the seed of the problem, right? Because socialism socialism in reality was invented as a concept to be a stepping stone towards communism. But that's a whole other video in of itself. That's not even something for right now. But then he's identifying correctly the difference between Austrian and Keynesian economics and its predictive accuracy, right? Because Austrian economics is way more predictively accurate in terms of understanding mechanisms and of macroeconomics, and he's also addressing statism and statists. So this dude is understanding the issue. He's really delving into the issue, and you can tell from the terms he's using because he's using them and applying them correctly in his understanding here. And then he's articulating why Trump is representing a resistance to these things and these types of values. And it's awesome to see somebody break it down so eloquently, so concisely, and so articulately all at the same time.
Regard, Donald Trump has rightly identified the enemy very well, with meridian clarity, without taking into consideration where the world was coming from. The discussion of global imbalances, which led to the subprime and mortgage crisis, or the problems in U.S. monetary policy design as a result of the fact that China didn't want to free up the exchange rate, and how in that context, in order to correct the global imbalances, one of the things China needed to do was free up the exchange rate. And as it wouldn't want to do that, Trump's response was to erect trade barriers.
And so he even articulates how the movements aren't protectionism in a way that there's geopolitical things going on and you've got to respond in order to protect your domestic economy, right? Dude, I love it. The dude is intelligent. I didn't see that before. That actually gave him a lot of points in my mind. The dude can articulate really well. He understands what's going on. He's got a really good grasp of the economy. Like, yeah, dude, I'm stoked for Argentinians with somebody like that in there who knows exactly what's going on, dude. I'm super. And he doesn't let this guy with his framing devices trying to use these words and terminology and rhetoric in order to subconsciously, do you really want to align with Trump? And here Javier Milei just schools the dude. He's like, do you even really know what's going on, bro? Like, dude, that was sick. That was awesome, man. That was awesome, dude. Let's see. I guess this is does Trump have something to say here? I have not played this yet, so we'll see how this goes right now.
President-elect Trump spoke to reporters today extensively for the first time since he won election last month.
Unrelated. Let's skip it, dude. Argentinia's president, Javier Milei, plans to attend President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration in January. A spokesperson for Milei confirmed Tuesday. A spokesperson for the Trump transition team did not reply to a request for comment. Milei, a Trump acolyte who was elected last year, describes himself as an anarcho-capitalist on Monday, who posted on X a link to a news report and wrote, "Make Argentina great again. Make America great again." That was beast, dude. That's beast, man. So I've gotten some comments for people, right, where I get nervous when I hear anarcho-capitalism because I personally believe that anarcho-capitalism leaves a power vacuum that large corporations can take advantage of to limit class mobility and engage in basically the de facto control of society through their influence as corporations, right? And I don't trust a corporation to not do that, especially if they have the power to. I worry in an anarcho-capitalist future that it would become essentially like a de facto like anarcho-tyranny, right? Like, because you'd have these corporations that can enact whatever policies they want, even if government is there, if government is the power and influence of government to limit these corporations, if it has been reduced to the point and the people themselves are not cohesive enough in a culture to anarcho-capitalism is great if we have a cohesive culture that people are engaged and active and involved in limiting the power of corporate influence over their lives, right? And understand the personal power that they carry, right? Then I can totally see, right, the argument for it. But I don't see that in our collective society, especially not after 100 years of this Edward Bernays marketing industry totally infecting our minds. And now we've got 10 years of social media stacked on top of it. What I see is society and culture consolidating, the cultural zeitgeist consolidating in such a way where it actually enables like rampant abuse of an anarcho-capitalist environment and the potential power vacuum that might create. Personally, that's what I see. Now, if you guys have something where you disagree with that, super interested in that discussion. Please let me know. Absolutely. But let's continue real quick. Bloomberg News first reporter on Milei was the first report on Milei attending the inauguration, citing Argentine government spokesperson. Milei is the first world leader expected to be in Washington for the January 20th event, although arrangements are underway for others to join. CBS News report, that's crazy. That's an honor, bro. Like a country likes you when you are the first one they ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, that must feel good, dog. CBS News reported last week that Chinese President Xi Jinping, whom Trump personally invited to the inauguration, was unlikely to attend, according to multiple sources. Wow. So Trump invited Xi Jinping. That's an intelligent move. That is a very intelligent move because I imagine he's going to take a hard stance in a lot of ways. And so he wants to reach out and you got the carrot and you got the stick. You know what I mean? And he's he's big on that. I don't think Xi is going to respond kindly to that this time. I think last time Trump was in, China was on its heels because they didn't quite know what to expect to how to respond, right? It's a lot like in the NFL, a quarterback's first season, right? Like dude, they always seem to kill it on that first season, and I guess they got all the footage and all the Oppo research right, and then on the second season and on, it's not quite the same. And I think it's largely a lot like that, right? And I think going in now, Xi Jinping in China, they're going to know that Trump is going to have the carrot and the stick, right? And so I think every time Trump swings that carrot in front of them, they're going to try to smack him in the face with it. I think that's what's going to go. I think that's exactly what's happening, man. Oh, dude, yo. So Trump confirmed Monday that he's exchanged letters with Xi and would love to see him at the inauguration, but there's nothing much discussed in terms of whether he'll accept the invite. Trump added that he has fielded calls from more than 100 world leaders since winning the election. When initially asked, he said that he had not invited Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. However, if he would like to come, I would like to have him, Trump said. The State Department records dating back to 1874 show that no world leader has attended America's transfer of power ceremony. Traditionally, foreign ambassadors and their spouses represent governments at the quadrennial event every 4 years. Milei met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago shortly after the November election. Yo, that's beast, man. That's beast, dude. Yo, we just saw that. We saw the video of them meeting together, man. That's so cool, dude. And I'm thinking, yo, this is why I'm thinking they might meet up. This is why I'm thinking there might be some sort of link up because not only is Musk a huge fan of Milei, so is Vivek, and they are both real big in the inner circle of Donald Trump right now in this new administration. And so I'm thinking that there might be a meetup. I'm thinking they might have a sit down while they're at there in the inauguration. I mean, it would make sense to me, right? So why Argentina's Javier Milei has the attention of Trump advisors. Argentina's President Javier Milei has cut 30,000 government jobs. The country's inflation rate dropped more than 20%, but poverty is soaring. Okay, man, come on, dude. Apparently, from a lot of Argentinians I've talked to, they expected it, and it's going to be cut by up to 33% next year. That's what one of y'all told me, man. Thank you guys for the information. It's so fun getting information from you guys. I'm so interested in all this stuff. Trump advises Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy celebrate Milei as a perfect model to slash government in the U.S. Yo, the dude did what Ron Paul promised in 2012 when we all voted. Well, not we all, but me and a tiny number of people voted for Ron Paul in 2012. Yo, Milei did that, didn't he? Trump advises Elon Musk and Vivek. Oh, they celebrate him. The guests are Natalie Alcoba, Argentinian Canadian journalist. Oh, and based in Buenos Aires. That's cool, man. Hell yeah. That's what's up, dude. That's awesome, man. Yo, and so I figured, hey, if they're gonna be talking to Elon Musk and Vivek, if they're gonna be having his ear, and they could be potentially, and he could be having influence, right? Let's figure out exactly what is going on. Let's figure out exactly what. Yo, let me fix this real quick. Hold up. Let me just, work that out. So let's figure out exactly what's going on and what his policies might be, what he might like, where his stance might be, right? And he says my contempt for the state is infinite. I understand that. I'm the type of person where it's like, dude, I don't personally see the justification for the state's monopoly of force. I don't see where that's ever been established. It's horrifying to see justification used legally for the state to have a monopoly of force here in the U.S. Absolutely inappropriate in my opinion. I agree with him up to a certain extent. I totally agree. Now, just initially off the bat, it's a little scary to hear. I haven't read this. Let's read it together, man. Javier Milei, I've got a link to it too for you guys if you want on the Rumble side of things. But Javier Milei, my contempt for the state is infinite. Argentina's president is idolized by the Trumpian right. They should get to know him better. Yo, what are they trying to say? We don't like the state either. Hold up. We don't like big government either. We might not be totally like, hey, no government, anarcho-capitalism, but I'm a classical liberal, man. I think let's protect from trusts and monopolies. All right, I got a system for an alternate economy. If you guys want to check it out, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. It basically is an economy that respects the values of classical liberalism, no income tax, anything like that, but it prevents companies from getting so large that they entrench their wealth. Right? It doesn't prevent them from getting that large, but it prevents them from entrenching their wealth. Right? Basically, the R&D departments would be. Read it up. Let me know what you think, guys. As a company gets big and they start dominating an industry and at the point where they would start funding their own R&D, right? Like 3M Corporation, DuPont, right? Instead of funding their own R&D, they fund community incubators that form accelerators and takes. God, I forget, man. I'm forgetting terminology right now. Listen, I'm exhausted, but look. Read it up, all right? When a corporation gets big to a certain point, it starts funding accelerators and incubators. Boom. What the hell, man? Come on now. Dude. And basically assisting the community, right? And there's tax incentives for hiring locally and getting local resources and just all types of stuff, man, that I think are a great way to use to respect the tenets of classical liberalism while also building an economy that prevents people from taking advantage of the situation and building so much resources that they start dominating other people, man. Like not on a personal level, just on a, man, it's crazy when you look at the industrial age and how it promoted neoliberalism around the world and how certain things were taken advantage of, man. I was just thinking about, how can we respect classical liberalism while protecting ourselves from some of that stuff, right? So just check it out. Let me know what you think, man. Please. It's the start of a conversation. But many people in America hope that the new Trump administration will take acts to bloated and overbearing government. Yeah, cutting spending and rolling back the regulation. Whether this goal is even plausible anymore is a crucial question for America and the world after 2 decades in which government debt has globally risen relentlessly, fueled by the financial crisis of 2007-2009 pandemic. For an answer and a case study into taming out-of-control Leviathan, head 5,000 miles south from Washington, where an extraordinary experiment is underway. Javier Milei has been president in Argentina for a year. He campaigned wielding a chainsaw, but his economic program is serious and one of most radical doses of free market medicine since Thatcherism. That's a real fun way of referencing Margaret Thatcher, the 80s. Is that Russia? Y'all remind me. I might be conflating things. Margaret Thatcher is where they came and they did that. And that was the U.S., right? Anyway, you guys, let me know. I'm conflating some things. It's been a day, man. He campaigned wielding a chainsaw, but his economic program is serious, one of the most radical doses since Thatcherism. It comes with risks, but only if Argentina's history of instability with Mr. Milei's explosive personality. But the lessons are striking too. If the left detests him and the Trumpian right embraces him, but he truly belongs to neither group. He has shown that the continual expansion of the state is not inevitable, and he is a principled rebuke to opportunistic populism. How? The sort of practiced by Donald Trump. Mr. Milei believes in free trade, free markets, but not protectionism, fiscal discipline, but not reckless borrowing. Instead of spinning popular fantasies, brutal public truth-telling. I totally disagree with that framing, and I think that we've seen in the video over here, right, that's not true at all. Okay. In fact, Javier Milei actually agrees right here, right? Javier Milei actually agrees with Trump's moves regarding response to China, okay, and sees the value in their protection, okay. So I don't agree with this. Look, Javier Milei, from what I'm gathering, Javier Milei understands that Argentina is in a very different position than the U.S. is in, and so he's responding differently because of the nature of Argentina and how it relates to the economy of its neighbors in the region, right? And I think that's very intelligent. These people are totally ignoring context. Argentina is in a totally different position than the U.S. is. That's ridiculous, man. Argentina has been in trouble for decades with a state that handed out patronage to politicians who lied, and a central bank that printed money with a state that handed out patronage, politicians who lied, and a central bank that printed money to paper over the cracks. To control inflation, the government's resorted to a blizzard of price controls, multiple exchange rates, and capital controls. It is so far the only country in modern economic history to have tumbled from rich world status back into middle income bracket. Mr. Milei was elected with a mandate to reverse this decline. His chainsaw has cut public spending by almost a third in real terms, halved the number of ministries, and engineered a budget surplus. There's been a bonfire of red tape, liberating markets from housing rentals to airlines. The results are encouraging. Inflation has fallen from 13 a month to 3%. Investors' assessment of the risk of default has halved. A battered economy is showing signs of recovery. What is fascinating is the philosophy behind the figures. Mr. Milei is often wrongly lumped with populist leaders such as Trump, the hard right in France, Germany, or Viktor Orban in Hungary. I highly disagree with y'all. They are trying to hide the fact that there is a massive revolution in throughout the whole world, and we are all on the same team. These people can stuff it, man. That's why I'm hoping that Milei meets with Trump, because this would be sick. This would be sick to see, dude. Yo, man. In fact, it comes from a different tradition. A true believer in open markets, individual liberty. He has quasi-religious zeal for economic freedom, hatred of socialism. He has told us in an interview this week he has infinite contempt for the state. Instead of industrial policy and tariffs, he promotes trade with private firms who do not interfere with Argentina's domestic affairs, including Chinese ones. He is a small state Republican. Yeah, who admires Margaret Thatcher, a messianic example of an endangered species. That's not true at all. What a lie. That's like, does the left really believe, yo, if you're on the left and you listen to my stuff, yo, because I'm a libertarian and I'm not really super on the right, yo, man, let me know, man. Do you guys think that the right is now a small government body? Because I talk to people on the right and I don't get that at all from them. Like, to be honest with you, man, just like how when I talk to Christians, I don't get any sort of trans hate from them at all. Like I get, hey, loving, I think people are going the wrong way. I think they're going to go to hell and I want to show them God. That's what I get from Christians, right? That's what I get when, so it's like, I just disagree with this worldview that they think now Republicans want a large government and Christians hate people and stuff. Like, dude, I just disagree with that, man. His poll ratings are rising, and at this point his term is more popular in Argentina than recent predecessors were. Make no mistake, the Milei experiment could still go badly wrong. Austerity has caused an increase in the poverty rate, which has jumped to 53%, but could be down to 20% by the end of next year. The first half of 2024 from 40% early. See, it was already at 40%. Y'all, man, they don't mention. We read that before, and they didn't mention that, bro. It's not. That's not as bad as it sounds, man. Like, sometimes the room's got to get messier before it gets clean. You know what I mean? Mr. Milei could struggle to govern if resistance builds and the Peronist opposition is better organized. Investors' confidence will be tested if he finally removes capital controls and shifts overvalued peso to a flexible exchange rate regime. A currency slump could test nerves and push inflation back up. Mr. Milei is an eccentric who could become distracted by culture wars over gender, climate change, and thus neglect his core mission of restoring Argentina's economy to growth. I don't think so, man. We heard articulate that dude was. He's a systems thinker, man. I like that, bro. No, I think he's got a good head, man. I think he's got a good head, a big ego, small government. Look, the link is here if you guys want. I think he's got a good head. I don't really trust him at this point to really accurately represent his perspective, but I think it was a good, they told us some quotes. I think they were too afraid of giving too many quotes because they had an idea of where they wanted to go with the story already. But yeah, no, they say it's behind a paywall. I got the Archive Today link. You're not going to get me with no paywall, economist. But anyway, yo, hey, thank you guys for joining me. If you enjoyed the comment, there's a lot of stuff just like this, and there's more to come. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you.